Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blogs. So let's get to it. All right, rock stars, first story up. The story that is on everybody's mouth, and we're probably sick of it by now, but we still must talk about it. Your boy Jussie Smollett and how he has avoided the 16 felony charges against him in the case of him supposedly lying about being attacked in them Chicago streets one polar vortex morning. Yes, I was shocked to hear that the prosecution decided to drop all 16 charges, which was strange to me that they charged him with 16. I was like, what the fuck did they charge him on? Them nigga blinking his eye? You can't do that no more. I mean, we saw what he supposedly had done. I didn't know how they came up with 16 charges, but I mean, every little thing that he must have said happened that didn't happen the way he said it, they charged him for it. So even though I thought that was strange that they charged him so heavily, I thought it was equally strange that they dropped this case, especially when they were so gung-ho about throwing the book at him. So Debbie had sent me a text message that told me that he had been, that he had been cleared. And I was like, let me read up on this. And basically what they're saying is, although the prosecution felt like they had the evidence to find him guilty, the fact that he had given the $10,000, he was $100,000 bond. He gave us $10,000, right? 10%. And the fact that he had already done his community service, which nobody seems to know what that community service was. They felt like that was enough, that was adequate, and that they would drop the charges, and not only drop the charges, but seal the case. So we'll never know exactly why it feels so weird to us, but it feels strange, you guys, and I can't help but think that there has been some shady dealings going on in the background. Okay, now listen, I'm gonna let y'all, the ones that you're out there who said that Jussie was innocent and you guys believed him from the beginning, we're gonna let y'all have that today, okay, because you guys did win. All right, but I still can't help but think that there was something, it just doesn't make sense to me. Now, the police department is pissed off. The mayor, Mayor Emanuel, is upset because they all felt like they had a surefire case. And they feel like the fact that the case was sealed, that there was some sort of, backdoor dealings that went on along there, and now everybody is sort of like mum's the word. Now, the case was sealed because the defense attorneys asked for it to be sealed, and the prosecution did not oppose that. Even though the prosecution says that they had all the evidence, then why would you drop the case? Okay, so then I started to think, with my, with my uneducated lawyer-like ways of thinking, I was like, well, maybe they felt like they overcharged them. And maybe they felt like they couldn't prove the charges. What have we learned from the great Annalise Keating? I'm telling you, that Shonda Rhimes show did do us a service having that damn show. Between Scandal and How to Get Away with Murder, we have learned so much about the law. Okay? It's not about what's true. It's not about what happened. It's about what you can prove. And the more confusion that there is around a case, you put that shit out there the way that you do, and you move on with your life. And that kind of reminds me of this whole Jussie Smollett case. Like, we can't really figure out what the hell is going on. It's just confusing and chaotic, and it's done. So yeah, I'm telling y'all, y'all gonna keep on listening to Annalise, ain't you? All right. But they said that they could prove the charges, right? So then I was just like, it makes no sense to me why they would drop this case. Okay. Some of the CNN pundits that I watched did say something along the lines that even though they felt like they could prove it, the defense could still argue that he didn't get a fair case because he had already been found guilty in the court of public opinion. And I could see very well why they would go that route. His defense lawyers, because we had all pretty much said, nigga, you lying. So, that might have been a part of the reason why they felt like they had to drop the case. And, when I used to work at the DA's office, from what I understand, a lot of the DAs do not They would rather not have the case than to lose a case, okay? A loss goes down in the books as, you know, as you're a big L, and people don't want that on their records. You know, when you are a DA, you possibly might be, you know, gunning for the head DA position, chief DA, okay, and such. So I guess they just was like, we just gonna chalk this one up and say we, you know, just gonna drop the case. But it's a lot of weird things that also go along with that case. You know, the state's attorney, what's her name? Kim Fox. She's recused herself from this case because evidently she knew the family and had been talking to the family when everything first went down. I mean, immediately when he was attacked originally, okay, allegedly. So she recused herself from this case. However, they're saying that her office was still very inappropriate by having some dealings along with the case. And, you know, her name keeps coming up. He forfeited the $10,000, even though he was, you know, within his rights of getting it back. They're saying there was no deal made, but he agreed to let this $10,000 go. If I was Jussie Smollett and I knew 100% without a shadow of a doubt that I was innocent, I would sue the fuck out of Chicago because they have completely ruined his career. All right, it's going to take a long time, if ever, for that boy to come back as strong as he would have if nothing like this ever happened to him, or if it was a legitimate, you know, attack. What is really going to convince me that he just got away with it is if he doesn't sue the Chicago Police Department and everybody else involved that besmirchified his name, shout out to Don King, and made him look like a liar. Not only is that part of everything strange, but it's also strange that the two Nigerian guys, you don't even hear anything about them. You don't see them, nothing. They have disappeared, it seems to be, off the side of the earth. Okay, as far as the media is concerned, they weren't charged for anything. Did they lie? Okay, did they say that he put them up to it, but he didn't really do that? Then if they did lie, then there should be some charges against them, right? Okay, no charges for the Nigerians. It's weird. Now, you know, people always say that there's a lot of illegalities that go down in Chicago, and I'm not saying if they did or didn't do anything illegal, but yeah, it's just strange. It's just strange. And to me, it's not vindication for him because people like me still have these feelings. If I'm innocent, I want everybody to know that I'm innocent and look at me as if I'm innocent. I don't want people to still have thoughts that I did this, you know, so I don't really feel like Jussie is in the clear just yet. And now they're saying that the police department is pushing for the FBI to continue the investigation. I guess they're still dealing with that whole, the letter that they say that he wrote to the Empire, the Fox studios about threatening him and hanging him or shooting him or something like that. So they're still dealing with that investigation, and I guess there's some word that they're trying to get them to open up an investigation on the entire thing, like turning over the evidence, I guess, to them. Okay, my rock star lawyers out there, the real ones, y'all can chime in and let me know. Is that what they're trying to do now? Because, yeah, it's just strange. But I always felt like they overcharged them. And it just seemed like it was obvious that they were trying to make more of a spectacle out of this very spectacle-filled case. Jussie hasn't said much other than when he first was, the case was first dropped, you know, he came out and spoke to the reporters and said that he's always maintained as innocent. He wouldn't be his mother's son, you know, if he could lie about those things. And if I was Jussie, I would just shut the fuck up and go off into the sunset, try to let shit, you know, die down, all right, and then, you know, try your hand at auditioning for parts and shit again. But it doesn't look like now that he's going to lose his spot on Empire. But they did say that the Empire ratings were down. I don't know if that is a combination of what Jussie was involved in and the fact that it's just run its course. That show's been on, what, 5 seasons now? I haven't seen it since, I think, the fall finale of the 3rd season. or something like that, second or third season. I'm not even quite sure. I haven't seen it in a long time though. And shows only last 5-6 years anyway, so that show might be already on its way out. And then, you know, this shit with Jussie probably didn't help either. But Fox has put out a statement and said, you know, that they've always maintained the support for Jussie, you know, and they're happy that the case has been dropped and now they're just going to move forward. So I guess they're also hoping that everybody will just find something else to be stressed out about and worried about and involved about, and that they'll leave Jussie and Empire alone and everybody can keep their jobs for a couple more seasons and all of that. But yeah, you guys, I just was like, good for him. You know, he has a clean record, and it worked out well for him. We can't say that we haven't seen these things happen to other people. You know, when we knew for a fact that they was guilty and they was you know, let off. So Jussie is just another one of those people. Maybe, you know, his influences. And I don't know if that might be monetary influence. I'm not sure if it's political influence. I'm not sure if it's the fact that he is gay. You know, they're saying that there's a lot of more powerful people that might be involved in this whole thing, and that it was blowing up to be so big that they was just like, you know what, let us just quiet this shit down and shut it down. So I don't know, but nigga, you got away with that one. That's all I got to say. So, good for Jussie. What do you guys think, though? You guys feel like he's been vindicated? Or do you still got your good cat eye on everything going down there in Chicago? Let me know. I'm telling you, the Daily Mail keeps their foot on Wendy Williams' neck. If you Google Daily Mail Wendy Williams, all kind of articles come up every single fucking day. They must have a couple of reporters that is just sitting there on that on the beat over there and making sure that they follow her around, and anything that she does, they are on it. So, you know, I told you guys last week about the girl and the husband and the mistress, and you know, we already know what's going on there. Now, after we have found out that Kevin Hunter and his mistress, Sharina Hudson, have had a beautiful baby girl last week, they say that Wendy Williams spiraled out of control. After her show on Monday, she politely took herself to the sober house that she was living in. She checked herself out and she got lost. They say her staff didn't know where she was. Her sober living coach, I don't know how she got away from him, but he didn't know where she was. Everybody was very concerned. And then she finally turned up. I don't know where, but they found her. She was drunk. So they rushed her to the hospital. They gave her, I think they call it like a banana bag. It's just a bunch of IV fluids that flush your system and I guess get you ready to rock and roll for your show the next day, because she was definitely there on Tuesday. People were concerned that there wasn't going to be a show, but there was. But now we're hearing that she has put the show on hold once again. But she says not to worry, Wendy Williams fans, because this was a planned you know, hiatus, and that she will be back to the show on April 9th with all new shows. And I thought to myself, okay, now Wendy, now listen, the jig is so up. It is so up. Okay, my heart breaks for the fact that she feels like we are watching her and believing what she says when she, if you had a planned hiatus coming, why would you come back for 5-6 days just to be off again? It makes no sense. Okay, you would have just carried it on through and been like, we're going to come back April 6th. We're going to do, you know, or April 8th or whatever the date was that she said that she was going to return, and pick up from there. So it's very clear that everything is going on in her life. And I'm telling you, as much as I like Wendy Williams, everybody out there who really don't like her would have some sympathy for her if she just go on and admit it. Like, listen, shit is fucked up now. I'm on drugs. I'm drinking. My man is fucking around. Got a baby. Shit is bad. Let me get my shit together. Let me figure out what I'm going to do. Holding up appearances only work when you still look good. When shit is falling apart every fucking where around you, everything is burning down. There's no way that you can keep this facade up and think that you are convincing anybody. So I feel like you know, I feel like I don't know what to say, Wendy. It's up. The gig is up, girls. It's just done. The show is a wrap. That show will not last. When you start bringing in addiction issues, it's just hard to try to. She's not gonna be able to hold up with that show. So we can already put that on out the window. Okay. But like I said, she has bigger things to worry about, okay? Namely, her addiction problems and her cheating ass husband. Now, they say that he's still the executive producer. You know, they still cordial to each other. She still wears her ring at the studio. They have caught pictures of her out on the street without her ring on. And they're saying that she is contemplating divorce, okay? I mean, I understand trying to hold it together, but it's just like, that's it. That's it. And even if social media has played a part in it, social media, you know, the regular journalistic media and whatnots, even if they have played a part in it, I mean, the bottom line is he still fucked around, got this whole new woman and family now. And what else you gonna do, Wendy? It's pitiful, though. I feel like the way that everybody is riding her so hard that it may even come to a tragic ending. And we don't want that. But addiction is serious. And, you know, she got a lot of pressure on her right now. My heart breaks for poor Wendy. I would never want to be in her shoes. So. But anyway, y'all, that's the newest and the latest on Wendy Williams. It's going to come to a point where I'm probably going to have to retire Wendy, because I'm going to feel like I'm contributing to everybody riding her to death. But like I said, hopefully in this next couple of weeks that she takes off, she's able to make some decisions and gain control of her very out of control life. Hold your head up, Wendy. Guys, next story up. There's a Cardi B video that was going around where before Cardi B became this A-list rapper who was on your radio, who was on your blogs all over the place, pushing out hit after hit after hit. Hell, before she was even on Love and Hip Hop New York, okay, we knew that Cardi B was a stripper who had gained a name for herself in New York. Had a very large following and used to always be on her Instagram and, you know, on her social media live. So there's a video that's floating around of her talking about the shit that she had to do as a stripper to take care of herself. And one of those things that she used to do was, you know, she would spot a mark at the club, some nigga that want to go and fuck on her, you know, take her home and fuck on her that night. And so after she got off of work, she would go back to the hotel or the apartment or whatever it was with him, and she would drug him and she would rob him. Okay, now listen, nobody is saying that that is cool. That 100% is not cool. Okay, but if you are, I mean, if you have any knowledge of what goes on out there in them stripper streets, even not necessarily a stripper, if you know any of your regular classic hood ass street girls looking for the come up, you know that this is a lick that is very popular and common. You get a nigga that's looking like he got something, he been throwing money at you all night, and then you get his ass to the hotel, you give him some drugs, and then you rob him. Like, that is common knowledge. That is not nothing new. Even though Cardi B, because of the name that she has now, people are acting shocked. You guys know good and damn well you're not shocked about that. Okay? Now, because of that video, her talking about drugging somebody, and where we are as a society today, people have somehow equated her drugging and robbing people with her supposedly raping these marks that she hits. And I'm thinking to myself, like, who the fuck do you guys rob, and then for good measure, while he's knocked out cold, you go on and fuck him real fast before you go? Does that make sense to you guys? Do you really think that this girl is robbing and raping people before she... I'm gonna need you guys to cut it out. You are trying to get the hell up out of there. First of all, his dick is probably not even hard. Listen, I'm sorry. It got to be this blunt today, but we grown up, right? Okay. The shit is probably not even hard for you to have sex with. Secondly, you trying to get the hell out of Dodge. Okay, what if they start waking up or something? And why haven't any of these men reported her? Because they already knew that they was doing shit that they ain't had no goddamn business doing in the first fucking place. Okay, you write that off, you charge it to the game, and you went on home to your wife and your girlfriend like your ass should have been in the first place. But I'm not saying that that's good. I'm not saying that that's an admirable thing, but I'm not also saying that these rappers out there who say that they drug deal and that they shoot people and that they force women to have sex, and you know, there's plenty of people out there that's rapping and saying all of these things that they did that are men, and we haven't had any problem with it. All right, now that a woman has come out, and she hasn't even come out. This is 3-4 years ago when this video was done. She doesn't even put that in her rap music because she said that's nothing that she's proud of. Okay, she doesn't talk about the shit that she did. All right, but best believe she's always been truthful about what she has done in the past. All right, as opposed to a lot of these rappers out here, these motherfuckers got degrees. They talk with a certain type of accent, but they don't really sound like that. These motherfuckers is accomplished before they decided to become rappers, and, you know, then change their whole persona to fit the whole rapper image. But there's a lot of people out there that's putting up the front. She wasn't. And then there was ones that really did the shit that they say that they did. And when they knew better, they did better. Nobody is holding Jay-Z to the carpet for the shit that he's admitted to in the past. Okay, it's called growing up and doing better. Stop it with this whole rape thing. I mean, if you're gonna be mad at her for the shit that she's done, robbing folks and shit, then be mad at her for that. But don't be trying to throw this whole surviving Cardi B hashtag out there and saying that she out there raping people. You know good and damn well you are. No woman is raping men that she is robbing. That's drugged and knocked the fuck out. Okay? So I'm gonna need y'all to stop it. And then, you guys, I have a pretty sad story for you today. They say that Monica Brown has filed for divorce from Shannon Brown, her husband of 8 years. While I hear people always saying, like, damn, they always seem so happy, and, you know, all the pictures that they were... First of all, when the last time you seen a picture with Monica and Shannon Brown? It's been some time. I've noticed that she's weaned him out of her social media, but I kind of thought that she was maybe doing that because there was so much scrutiny on her marriage that she just decided to keep him off of there. You know, sometimes that's what you need to do to keep people out your business. So that's kind of where I thought maybe it was happening, but it's not a surprise to me that this turn of events have happened. As a matter of fact, I've always felt like Shannon Brown did not necessarily look the happiest that he's been with her. At least not in these last 4 years or so. Okay, now there was some rumors floating around a few years ago. I remember that he was supposedly seeing some girl in Houston. That shit kind of blew up in the blogs. That was back when she used to really put him on her social media. But when that story blew up in the blogs, that's when she refrained from really posting him anymore. Right around the time, or a little bit after her daughter was born. But I figured that you know, marriages work. We tell you that all the time. So I was just like, okay, maybe they are working on their marriage, trying to figure it out. He did have an accident 3 or 4 years ago. And I remember her posting something about, you know, how her steps were ordered and she's doing those steps with her man right along with her. And I was like, okay, maybe they are in a better place now. Maybe this accident, you know, sometimes tragedy opens our eyes and makes us realize what and who is important in our lives. And so I was like, okay, well, maybe after the accident, you know, they really realized what, you know, what it was. And then we even started to see him a little bit more in her social media again. And, but you know, just dotted here and there, we started to see more of the little girl who has such a big personality. I saw why she was posting her quite a bit. And then we saw her on Family Hustle. And then it was interesting to me that she has like everybody in her fucking family living with her. I mean, just like mama, daddy, step, granny, and all. And I was like, ooh, that can't be easy on a marriage. Like, I mean, you got the whole family living up in there with you. I mean, I'm sure the house is big enough and they might not even see each other some days, but you know what I'm saying. And then now we get this, that she has filed for divorce. Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's unfortunate though, because you know nobody wants to see a marriage break up, especially you know when you have a family together and kids, and there's just one kid, but you know I'm sure he loved her 2 other sons as well. So yeah, that part of it is sad, but again, I'm not shocked at all. And now they're saying that he still is seeing that girl. Was she a stripper? I think some people said that it was a stripper, but there is some still some talk that he's still seeing that girl in Houston. So Monica's gonna be fine. Shannon is gonna be fine. Okay, sometimes these things just don't work out. Okay, Monica, hold your head up, girl. And I know there is some rumors floating around about Teyana Taylor and Iman Shumpert also splitting up, but that story is coming from Media Takeout, and you guys know we don't believe shit Media Takeout says. Usually they shit is inaccurate. Not that any of these blogs be having shit 100% correct, but you know what I'm saying. Media Takeout is these niggas is on like 15%. Okay, they just make up shit every day and post it. So I don't know if that's true. It could be some smoke around this story because you know we did hear about Iman. Remember there was a couple of months ago, some months back, they were saying that he had been fooling around with some people or with some girl. Teyana she did come after the girl, but not with her usual vigor. You know, she did come out and say, you know, we still together and he not cheating on me, but then shit quieted down between the 2 of them very, very abruptly. Like we didn't see her, she wasn't posting shit with him and her any longer. And isn't it a shame how social media has, that's why I was like, you don't need to put them on there in the first fucking place, because if you don't put your relationship on social media like that, people don't know if the shit is fucked up or not, because they're not used to seeing them to begin with. But I know a lot of relationships don't like that because they want to be involved in everything that their significant other is involved in. But I have told you guys plenty of times, like, I'm not on my husband's social media. Like, I don't even care. Like, you know, because if you gonna do what you gonna do, you gonna do it, right? I can't, social media is not gonna tell me if you fucking around or not. But anyway, you didn't see him and her together at all much anymore. Then they had that quick little tiff when she was grinding on, excuse me, who was it? Was it Drea? Pardon. I think it was Drea's birthday or something like that, and she was supposedly grinding on her and all of that, and he had a problem with it. He had said some comments, and you know, she was just like, oh, why you mad? You know, so she kind of was trying to pick at him. And then he tried to come back out and apologize and say he was just playing and all that. And I was just like, oh, it sounds like somebody's feelings is hurt. That sounds like it's more shit going on than we understand. But maybe they're trying to work it out. Surprising that he would think that he could get away with fucking around on Teyana, because she seems like the type that is not gonna put up with that. So, although there's whisperings, there's still no confirmation that those 2 have broken up. Hopefully they'll be able to work it out. Alright, you guys, so next story up, Michael Avenatti, whose name has been really out there, I would say in this last year. He's a lawyer who is everywhere. Okay, he was Stormy Daniels' lawyer in that whole Trump case. He is currently representing the victims in the R. Kelly sexual assault case. And now we hear word that he's been arrested. He is now since on bail, but he was arrested for trying to extort $22.5 million from Nike, because evidently he had evidence that Nike had acted inappropriately recruiting some high school kids to college basketball by funneling money to the families of those high school kids. So he had tweeted out that he had like this big information about Nike, you know, that he was going to have a press conference. I think that was like Sunday night, and then Monday morning, honey, they went on and arrested that ass and said that, oh no, honey, you was trying to extort money. So they threw some wire and mail fraud charges at him and shut him down, or at least they shut him down for then. But since then, like I said, he has already posted bail $300,000, and he came out and said that yeah, Nike was funneling this money to these kids, and that is against NCAA, you know, rules. Nike is saying that right before they were about to have like a earnings call, like a major earnings call, this was also during the college basketball tournament. There was a coach that was involved in this as well. I think they're saying his name was Gary Franklin Sr., who's the basketball coach of California Supreme in Los Angeles. Michael Avenatti was set up to go have a meeting with them about this information that he had, and he told them, either you guys give me $22.5 million, at least $22.5 million. Either you guys give me that, or I am going to put this out, okay, and your name will be mud out there in them streets now. Nike was like, oh, hell fucking no, bitch. Okay, what you're not gonna do is extort us, all right? Because what many people don't know is Nike is already involved in an investigation with the FBI. I guess a couple of years ago, Adidas was found doing the same thing, and there was an investigation that was sparked up from Adidas, and that Nike has already been participating, or should I say cooperating with the feds in that investigation. So Nike was just like, nigga, you ain't fixing to get $22.5 million from us when we already in trouble. Shit. I mean, we might as well just go on and ride that trouble out over there and not worry about your $22.5 million. Avenatti is making it seem like, you know, he's got even more information, and it's like a whole bunch of people are going to get in trouble and get, you know, dragged. I said, if that Avenatti don't watch out, something gonna happen to him. He gonna wake up with the swimming with the fishies. And then they say that he also had a co-conspirator, and the co-conspirator in this case would be Mark Geragos. They tried to keep that quiet, but that name has now come out, and I'm just like, it's so strange again how this whole 6 degrees of separation has come about with Chicago. Now, I can't begin to link how all of these things are related in some kind of way, but why is there a part of me that feels like the shit with Jussie, the shit with R. Kelly, I know it's crazy, it don't make no sense, and you can't logically link none of this shit together, but Jussie Smollett, R. Kelly, Avenatti, Geragos, who is Jussie Smollett's lawyer, all of this tied together, and all of it happening out in Chicago, it just makes me feel like something, the shit ain't right out there in Chicago. I'm also worried that that R. Kelly case is going to fall apart some which kind of way too. I don't know how. You know, it's just crazy. And especially once we start talking about the prosecution and how they just went on and dropped this case like this. Like, I have a feeling that all of this is related some sort of way. Okay. And charge that to my Shonda Rhimes /Scandal /Olivia Pope Annalise Keating / How to Get Away with Murder. You know, us watching them shows for 6, 7, 8 years. But isn't it weird to y'all that all this shit is going down in Chicago? What the fuck is going on in Chicago? We gonna see, y'all. But yeah, Avenatti, he said he got some shit on Nike. Nike said, the hell you say? Nike is shutting that shit down. They are way super powerful, but we've seen powerful people come down. I don't think it's gonna be Nike though, but we've seen it though. What y'all think? And then lastly, in quickies, you guys, congratulations to singer Kalani. They said that she has given birth last weekend, looks like, to a beautiful baby girl by the name of Adaya. News also comes that Adaya was delivered at home, an unassisted medical birth. All right, so no medicine, just get out there and go for what you know. I was like, okay, I had Jada with no medication either. It wasn't by choice, though. And then I was in the hospital, but she just came too fast. And they were like, Roxanne, we don't have time to give you any medication. I was just like, what? I'm not gonna be able to do it. I lost my mind for like a quick second because I was just like, I mean, it was the most pain that I have ever felt. But I will say this, although if I were to have another baby again, and child, that will never ever happen, but if I were to have another kid, I would still have medication, But I will say that when you don't have medication, you know better how to push. Your body gives you the signals that you need, and everything is connecting and making sense to each other. When you have medication, you can't feel shit. You just blowing it out down there, nigga. And when I say blowing it out, I mean blowing it out. You fuck everything up down there. I mean, you be having everything just be like, you done pushed your whole ass out, your coochie out, you know, you done use muscles that you shouldn't have been. It is bad. So the recovery on a person, to me, because I've done it both ways, the recovery on a person that was medicated is longer than a person who didn't have medication pushed the baby out. Because after I had Jada, honey, I snapped on back. It wasn't no tearing. I didn't have no issues. All right. I had my tubes tied, so I was sore from that. But other than that, I was just like good. With Joe, honey, there's some shit going on down there that's still going on. The nigga's gonna be 20 years old tomorrow. So, you know, I'm just saying there are pros definitely to, even though I would get medication definitely again because that pain is serious, but there are pros to not getting medication. So congratulations to Kalani. Okay, and whoever the baby daddy is, I don't know. Congratulations also to Jordan Peele and his cast and crew for the movie Us. It released last weekend, and the horror flick topped the weekend box office with $71 million in sales. It turns out that since it cost only $20 million to make, that this was the highest grossing horror movie to open in the U.S., all right, ever. So good for Jordan Peele. It's so funny because if you guys used to watch Peele and Key and Peele, who they are just hilarious, right? The show was so fucking funny. It was sort of like a sleeper hit, but still a hit nonetheless. I mean, you never even knew that he had this whole other genius in him about horror flicks and all of that. So now it's good to see that he's really got a stronghold in the horror genre. And good for him. I still haven't seen the movie. All right, probably might try to see it this weekend. We have a lot going on. It was Jada's birthday the other day. You know, we celebrated it last weekend, and it was birthday was Tuesday. Joe's birthday is tomorrow. Saturday, Jada's prom. So that's why I have been crazy this week. It's so much happening. But let me just get past Saturday. Bitch, let me just get past Saturday. And then I'm going to be right. I'm going to be right. I'm going to be right. I might go to the movies and get drunk in there and watch it and have a great time. So yeah, but I'm glad for Jordan Peele. It's good to see him winning so successfully. And then lastly, fist pump of righteousness for the forever First Lady, Mrs. Michelle Obama, who they are saying her autobiography Becoming is slated to be the highest grossing autobiography out there ever. Okay, ever. Ever. And I'm just so happy for Mrs. Obama. Okay, they say that she was given $60 million, you know, just off the top to write the book. They don't really make much mention about what the back end that she's getting off from, you know, the sales of the book per unit, but you best believe she's getting something off of that as well. Okay, and then not to mention the serious success of her book tour. I mean, she's cleaning up and doing it so gracefully. Y'all hear my phone ringing? That's Debbie. Careful. You know I'm doing this video. I'm not even going to answer. Debbie, I'm going to call you back, girl. They also say that President Barack Obama will be coming out with a book later on this year, probably after she finishes with her tour. Let her wrap her thing up, and then he going to hit y'all with the 1-2 punch there, okay? Making more money. I sure miss them, too. Okay, but you know, forever in my heart, that's who my president and first lady is. But this can't be about the men today. This is always about the fist pumping righteousness for the black girl magic that is Michelle Obama. Y'all gonna get enough of this black girl magic, ain't you? Alright, rock stars, let me go in here and get my sushi. I ordered it and then take it on back to work. Okay, we do this every single week. So make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. Until next time, rock stars. Bye.